Dude, he's so big now. Have you seen him? You seen the most recent photos? He put some photos on Instagram of him training, and he took pictures of him with his shirt off. And you're like, what? Jesus Christ. He looks like he's about 250 now, something like that. And he's a big giant dude. He's always been a big giant dude, but he's like super muscled out now. That dude's gigantic now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
terrifying.
That's gigantic. He's so much bigger than he was when he first started. When he first started kickboxing, he was this long, tall, thin guy.
Focused and training with intense determination ahead of a potential clash with Oleksandr Usyk.
He's kill or be killed. That guy is just die on his shield, reckless. Yeah. He's wired different. Yeah, he comes for blood. And the thing is, what you were saying, Mike, people love you when you do your best. And that's why they love him. Like, they know that guy's ready to go out on his shield. He's no quit. He's going out on his shield. He goes to war. And sometimes they get him, and sometimes he gets them. And he used to get them a lot more when he was younger, but that's just
nature of the beast.
That's just fine.
For his part, Rico Verhoeven appeared fully prepared and confident, making it clear that he sees facing Oleksandr Usyk as a serious challenge, but has no intention of backing down.
Yeah, for me, it was like, why not accept the challenge? Like you said, he's considered arguably like one of the best boxers to ever do it. So what an honor and what an opportunity I have. I've conquered everything within the sport of kickboxing, and now getting the opportunity to do it within the sport of boxing, I love it. Like, never get comfortable.
Ahead of him is the challenge of proving himself against one of this era's top fighters, as Rico Verhoeven continues training hard and sharpening his boxing skills for the task ahead. Oleksandr Usyk, who continues to train hard and insists he feels no pressure going against a larger opponent like Rico Verhoeven.
I'm not pressure because I just work. Listen, maybe a lot of people say you feel pressure. No, I just work. For me, I do it what I do, what I can, what I do. Now, no.
Greedy Belly, he fought on Saturday.
Yeah.
Is that still a fight you want, Greedy Belly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rico Verhoeven continues pushing his training to another level, with Joe Rogan praising his physical presence and intensity. However, Shane McGuigan strongly disagreed, saying Oleksandr Usyk operates on a completely different level and giving Rico virtually no chance because of the gap in pure boxing skill.
Yeah, I feel like there's levels to this game. As a kickboxer, he's always going to be up against the guy who's a master at boxing. I don't think he's got a chance.
On the other hand, David Allen revealed that he sparred Rico Verhoeven in the past and came away impressed with his boxing ability. However, Allen also questioned Rico pursuing a title-level opportunity without holding rankings or boxing belts, raising doubts about how the matchup is being positioned.
He's a good boxer. I sparred Rico years ago, and he can box. I sparred in 2014, and he can box. But it was at one pro fight, I think, at a lower level, and won it. Possibly, I don't know much about kickboxing. I'm told he's one of the best kickboxers in history. Great. But how this can get sanctioned for a world heavyweight, a genuine bona fide heavyweight championship belt, I'm not sure. What about the top 15 rankings? What about mandatory? What about... Yeah, I don't get it.
Explaining his view, David Allen said Rico Verhoeven has real fighting ability and spirit, based on their sparring experience. However, he questioned Rico facing a boxer of Oleksandr Usyk's level, and doubted he could last the full distance against such elite competition.
And he's a very big man, great athlete, strong. He has very, very good boxing. And if I would have fought Rico, I'd fancy getting the job done in a real fight because of the experience in boxing. But he can fight, he definitely can fight. You know, around British title level, he'd give anyone a scrap. He's a good fighter. But he's fighting possibly one of the best heavyweights of all time. And he's a very big man. He's tough. Will he last 12? You wouldn't have thought so. No.
Adding his perspective, Max Kellerman noted that fighters have successfully moved from kickboxing to boxing before, pointing to Vitaly Klitschko and Dillian Whyte as examples. He suggested that Rico Verhoeven should not be completely dismissed against Oleksandr Usyk because unexpected outcomes can happen under the right circumstances.
I'm interested. There's a long history of fighters who started in kickboxing and went on to have a lot of success in boxing. Let me give you a few names. How about Vitaly Klitschko?
Kick my ass.
Vitaly Klitschko by the way, Vitaly Klitschko was never behind at the end of every professional fight he ever had. He was always up on every scorecard. Think about that for a second.
Lennox Lewis, yeah.
He got stopped on cuts against Lennox. He was up on the cards. He had to stop against Bird. He threw out his shoulder. He was up on the cards. He was never down on the cards at the end of any fight. Kickboxer. Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte started in kickboxing. Jerell Miller, big baby, started in kickboxing.
He probably here for a year or two.
Got the hair kicked off his head apparently.
He was a good kickboxer.
Max Kellerman also pointed to fighters like Chris Algieri and Caleb Plant, who had kickboxing backgrounds, to support the idea that transitions can succeed. He said Rico Verhoeven could still surprise people, but stressed that if Oleksandr Usyk is fully focused, an upset becomes very unlikely, although factors like size can always make things unpredictable.
Chris Algieri, who is a good fighter, by the way, fought with Manny Pacquiao, hell of a broadcaster now. Chris Algieri, kickboxer. Caleb Plant, Troy Dorsey, kickboxer. Remember Troy Dorsey and Kevin Kelly had an incredible fight. Yeah. There are lots of kickboxers who've made the transition. And look, I'm not trying to hype it up.
Yeah, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. If Usyk takes this fight seriously, Verhoeven has no shot. I'm telling you, there's no way he's going to be if he takes the fight seriously. But we have seen boxers like Floyd Mayweather and Tyson Fury not be prepared for the fight. This guy is 270 pounds.
He's not that guy, though.
If you, man,
and he already has a professional fight.
I will come drop kick you. Stop this. We know how it's going to go. If they train or don't train, Usyk's going to win.
Yes. If he trains or doesn't train, Usyk's going to win.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't train, maybe it could be interesting.
At the same time, Max Kellerman warned that Rico Verhoeven could struggle if he relies on kickboxing habits against Oleksandr Usyk. He explained that Usyk's timing, defense, and ring control would likely expose predictable patterns, meaning Rico would need to rely on pure boxing fundamentals to have a real chance.
Look, we know that Usyk is going to win as long as everything goes according to plan.
Right.
But I give Rico this. Kickboxing is not UFC or wrestling. He's not doing different stances. It's not like he's an expert at wrestling. He's an expert at stand-up fighting.
But when I say 52 hand blocks, I say that for a reason. He uses a kind of hand blocking style which will work, but not against a highly trained professional boxer.
Hey, Zabjir used it to pretty good effects in a lot of fights.
By the way, I've never seen Yoel do it, but I'll bet you Yoel got 52 hand blocks.
But
like he's going to need he needs 104 hand blocks.
Many voices in boxing have remained doubtful about Rico Verhoeven's chances against Oleksandr Usyk, believing that success in kickboxing does not automatically translate against elite boxing skills. Chris Algieri added that Usyk's technical ability would likely neutralize Rico's strengths, making even a size advantage difficult to turn into an edge.
Does Rico Verhoeven have any shot to beat Oleksandr Usyk in this fight?
No. If it was Anthony Joshua, I would be like, yeah, maybe. Usyk, no. He doesn't get hit. And you're taking away some of his main weapons. It's kickboxing. You're taking away half of his weapons. So, and he's not a big puncher. Yes, he's a big guy. He's a very big guy. He's tall, he's big, he's heavy. He's gonna have the size advantage for sure on Usyk. He's super tough and scrappy and tricky, all of that. But it's Oleksandr Usyk. If it was anybody else, I would be like, yeah, there's a shot. It's heavyweights. Anything can happen. One punch is one punch in the heavyweight division. But
things became more intense after Rico Verhoeven made a bold statement about finishing Oleksandr Usyk, creating strong reactions across the boxing world. While many questioned the timing and confidence behind the comments, it also showed Rico's belief that he has the power to end the fight if an opportunity appears.
In as much or as little detail as you're going to, from the first bell, what are you going to do?
Knock his head off. That's what I'm going to do. I'm like 50 55 pounds heavier. Yeah. So as soon as I hit him, it's going to be something different.
You're going to knock his head off.
Of course.
I think he's only been knocked down once. He's never been knocked, and that was a low blow. He's never been knocked down. You're going to have to go some, Rico.
Oh, what an opportunity I have here. I'm going to shock the world in front of the pyramids in this crazy scene. It's like, oh my God, I love it. That's why I'm so.
Responding to Rico's comments, Hamzah Sheeraz dismissed Rico Verhoeven's confidence, arguing that he may be underestimating what facing Oleksandr Usyk inside a boxing ring truly means. He predicted that once the pressure and clean shots begin landing, the fight could quickly become one-sided.
Oh, listen, I think he's going to get absolutely ironed out. That's the truth, but I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you're fighting Oleksandr Usyk, you know what I mean? Someone who's beat Joshua, beat Fury, not only once, but twice. And it's too much of an ask, you know what I mean? He has got a puncher's chance, we all have, but whether that chance will actually come to fruition, I don't really think it will.
While many praised Oleksandr Usyk's technical skill, Wade Plemons took a different view, saying he wanted Rico Verhoeven to win decisively. He argued that such a result could force boxing to rethink crossover matchups and change how these fights are viewed in the future.
I almost want Rico Verhoeven to come in and just absolutely start Usyk. You know why? Because then it would teach boxing a lesson about playing with his food. It would. And Francis Ngannou was this close to doing it, but boxing still hasn't learned. They need to be buried, and I mean in humiliating fashion, so that they learn their lesson about doing these kind of events, because one, you're setting your product up to have this big showing, like, look at how much better we are at boxing than everyone that doesn't box. Who cares? And two, you're giving these people that work their entire life for opportunities for a championship a spit in the face to go and play circus fight. Someone said, is that Mams Taylor? Is that Mams Taylor? Here we go.
Similarly, Jerell Miller went against the majority by backing Rico Verhoeven, believing his power and tools could create a major upset against Oleksandr Usyk. Miller argued that Rico is being underestimated and that one big moment could completely change the fight.
Rico is very game. He's not no punk. So I'm going to throw up one in the air and say Rico, man. I came up on the kickboxing scene with Rico Verhoeven. You know, Glory came on. Phenomenal fighter in his respectable sport. If you want to go by the statistics, yes. The fight's favorite, Usyk, yes. Usyk's supposed to win, all that. Yes, we can say that, but I'm going with my boy.
Speaking on the matchup, Eddie Hearn said Rico Verhoeven could still have a real chance, pointing to Francis Ngannou dropping Tyson Fury as an example of how crossover fights can produce surprises. He suggested Rico's background and unpredictability could create a moment that changes everything against Oleksandr Usyk.
You have to be a little bit deluded if you think you can walk into another discipline like this and beat the pound-for-pound number one. But the only way you're going to beat the pound-for-pound number one in this situation is by being deluded, right? Like, so Rico 100% believes he can go in there and beat Usyk up and knock him out, right? And he can punch, and he's a big, strong guy, and he has good fundamentals. But, you know, given what happened in Francis Ngannou against Tyson Fury, I will never not think that someone can come in from a fighting discipline and compete. Because I thought Ngannou had no chance at all. Yeah. And I thought he won the fight. I mean, he dropped Fury, and these kind of styles, they're just different.
According to Eddie Hearn, coming from a different combat background gives Rico Verhoeven a small opportunity to create problems. While he still viewed Oleksandr Usyk as the favorite, Hearn said Rico has enough boxing fundamentals and unpredictability to make things uncomfortable early, pointing to the Francis Ngannou example as proof that surprises can happen.